Hey everybody, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to try to see if I can salvage some of my foundations that either have been too drying or they're the wrong color. My skin has been very dry and very uncooperative lately, but it's getting better. So today I want to try to go back and use a few of the things that I could use before that actually looked nice for a little bit. So I'm going to give it another shot. One product that I have that I really like the performance is the Maybelline Superstay. This is the 24-hour. I never ever wear makeup for 24 hours. However, I like the way it performs, and unfortunately this particular product it's just too light. So I'm gonna see if not only I can get it to cooperate with my skin, but I'm gonna see if I can warm it up with my new IT Cosmetics bronzer. So that's the goal today. I've already got my eye makeup on. The only thing I'm gonna do is face. I really don't wanna part with this if I don't have to. I've only been able to use it a couple times, so I'd like to keep it if I can. Here's hoping. I'm gonna pin my hair. Today's not an awesome hair day. One other product that I picked up that was all the rage is CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence. This is the shade Light Medium, and this is very expensive. When I finally was able to pick it up, the retail cost on it was around $21, but I had a coupon, so I got it for half off. So I was very fortunate. I'm going to use this as sort of a primer base because it does have some skincare to it. And so I want to see if this is salvageable. I wasn't that particularly impressed with it, to be honest with you. I'm going to use about this much and just go ahead and apply. I have quite a few items that I just don't want to throw away. If they're not expired, I don't want to throw them away. If they are expired, I have quite a few things that are going to have to go in the trash, and that's a bummer because I have so many. I don't get through them all, and it's hard for me to discard things when they barely even remotely hit pan. So I'm hoping that today is a good day where I know I can salvage something. So that feels really good right now. That is feeling really, really good. The skincare that I've been using it's helping. I can tell that my skin has been improving. If your skin's in good condition, your makeup's gonna look nicer. All right, so I have that as a little bit of a base, and I have to tell you, this is probably the best this has ever felt or looked on my skin. I'm very hopeful and very encouraged by that. I really, really did not want to have to get rid of it. I hate wasting money and I hate wasting products. I'm gonna take this e.l.f. sponge here and just sort of pat that in a little. I am by no means using this as a foundation by any stretch of the imagination. It's a tint, so it's not meant to be used as a foundation, but even so, when my skin was drying out so badly and just behaving so badly, even this product was a fail, which was a bummer. All right, I'm gonna color correct under my eyes and put a little concealer. I'm gonna start out with this L'Oreal True Match. This is in the shade Peach. It is time for me to buy some new concealer. My beloved Stila Correct and Conceal palette. It's coming up on 2 years since I bought it. It has been the best concealer and corrector I've ever used. It's not an inexpensive product, but I didn't use it all before it expired, so that's gonna be hard, but it needs to be retired. I think I got a little bit too much there. I need to get a peach color corrector for under my eyes because I don't always have to use the orange, which I typically would use if I had a lot of darkness. Today I don't really have a lot of darkness, but I don't really have a good correcting concealer to use right now because my Stila went out to pasture. Another product that I have is the IT Bye Bye Under Eye. This is a very full coverage concealer designed for under the eyes. I use it for other things too, but it is incredibly thick and you only need like just a teeny, I mean, even that's probably too much. It's very, very thick. So if you get too much, especially under that eye area, it's not going to be flattering. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with a little. I'm warming up in my fingers as much as possible. Maybe use a little bit more. I've been treating my hair follicles with rosemary oil or castor oil and olive oil, which it feels like, or it might look like it's helping a little bit. I mean, I just started doing it really seriously maybe less than 2 weeks ago. And I just started adding the rosemary less than a week ago. I also have a goat milk rosemary mint shampoo bar that when I'm shampooing my hair, it feels really good on my scalp. My scalp feels very invigorated and I know I'm doing something good for it. But the minerals in the water here are not behaving very well with the chemical reaction with the bar soap. When I first got it, it felt like it just wasn't rinsing out. And I thought maybe it was me. I wasn't rinsing it out enough or something. No, if you've got a lot of minerals in your water and you're using a shampoo bar, it can leave a filmy residue feeling in your hair. So that's not pleasant. So I got to figure out what to do about that. Now I am going to do a little bit of contouring before I go for the foundation. I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Quad Cream Contour Palette. This was $9. I was very, very excited about this contour palette when I got it. I will be doing a declutter. Oops, it's probably not even, is it? I will be doing a declutter video very soon because I've just got things if I'm not super jacked about, they're gonna go because I just have too much stuff and I just need to minimize. I just have too much stuff. And if it's something that I've picked up because I wanted to test it, but then I find that I don't reach for it, it's just taking up a lot of space in my, it's taking up too much space in my life. So my favorite contour is my NYX Wonder Stick. Now that one I have also had for probably going on 2 years, but it's still going quite strong. So I don't feel any sort of, pressure to kick that one to the curb quite yet. I'm gonna take this Pharmacy Oval concealer and contour brush and that extreme hue right there. I just can't get rid of it. I don't have as much over here. I don't know if it's, it drives me nuts. I don't know if it's discoloration or what, but I don't like it. I don't know if it's left over from filler I had in my cheek that I wish I never did. I don't know. I'm gonna use my e.l.f. This is my e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer Pen. And I'm gonna go in here and see if I can conceal some of the darkness in those areas around my lower face. Give it a little lift. Sometimes I just use my finger instead of a brush, depending on the formula. This is creamy enough to where it moves just fine with my finger. Just a side note, I found that sometimes using eyeshadows, especially when it comes to shimmer, just using your finger often works better than a brush, depending on the brush, but that's been my experience. Time for the foundation. Okay, now, hoping, number one, that it doesn't cake and settle and look dry. Secondly, hoping that because it's too light, that my bronzer will rescue it. So let's give it a shot. I'm using this BS Mall flathead foundation brush. It's a very nice brush. It has just enough density. For a powder foundation on mature skin, I'm really impressed with that Maybelline Superstay. So I would have never given it any kind of chance whatsoever if I had not borrowed my sister's when I was visiting her over Christmas. I was quite stunned by it. It has great coverage, and for being a powder foundation, I don't know how they do it, but they do it. So far it looks pretty good. See how it looks later, if it settles in anything. Here, this area here is where it gets real dicey. Let's see how that works. I moisturized it really good. I mean, really did not mess around with skincare today. Feels like I still need to cover up a little bit of that orange, but I don't think so. I think it's okay. All right. All right, so what I'm looking at right now, and you can't see it like I can see it, it is not gathering in this area and making it look worse. That's definitely not a problem. It's not doing that. It doesn't look dry. The color just really sucks. It's just a bad, it just looks, texture wise, it definitely gets a pass. But the color just looks really washed out. So, all right, so that's why we are going to pull out magical It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores bronzer. It is marvelous. I mean, it is. So let's see if we can rescue that. All right, I am going to use this BS Mall round powder brush, and I'm just going to roll it in there. Oh, this stuff is so gorgeous. I just absolutely love it. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can salvage this. I wish I had used a little more concealer on my nose and got rid of some discoloration around my face, because I can just see things peeking through that I would really rather not have peek through, like, you know, just hyperpigmentation in some places. I'm a big fan of CC cream in general. I did have a CC cream. I think it was L'Oreal's. I think it was a drugstore CC cream. It was okay, but I think once you've used something that's really, really good on the higher end side, you just can't go backward unless you have to, which I did there for a while. So, okay. So that definitely warmed it up. I can see texture under my eyes, which isn't super awesome. I got some texture here in my cheeks. Not too much here. So, of course I am 60. So, you know, there is that. I don't know what I would expect. Still looks a little sallow. I think another thing that's making a difference is that I'm not using, you know, my color correction under my eye isn't as high quality as I'm used to either. So this is not a bad product. This is actually, I would recommend this drugstore. I just wish I had it in a lighter color, and also it also might need to get thrown out. I'm just probably gonna be throwing stuff out. As much as I don't want to, I think that's probably what's gonna end up happening. I'm gonna let that sit for a minute, because sometimes when you apply your makeup, it's best to apply it, make sure it's warm, apply it, let it sit there for a second, you know, just kind of let your face just sort of, you know, embrace it, and then go on to the next thing. So once in a while, if I'm looking at my makeup, you know, right after I've applied it, if it doesn't look that great, once my face warms it up a little bit, it's better. So we'll just see. Okay, I feel like it is settling in a little bit better than it was. Just got some darkness here and a little bit of fine line action going on. I am not even going to remotely try to fix that right now, because if I do, I'm afraid that it'll just cake and make it worse. I am going to once again reach for my favorite blush combination. I'm going to use this up. I'm going to continue to use this until it's gone, because this is something I really like, and I do not want to have to throw it out because it expired. So I'm going to use this and mix it with my e.l.f. Camo blush. This is the shade, Lord, what shade is this? I'll get back to you on this. I can't remember what shade this is. It's I don't remember. So I will get back to you on that one. And apply it to the back of my hand. About like that. And I'm going to be generous with this, even though it is got a pretty good pigment going there. If I don't, again, my goal these days is to use the product I have been buying instead of just testing it. So I'm going to use quite a bit of it. So there's that, and let's just mix it up and see what happens. This never fails. This little recipe here with that e.l.f. Halo Glow and liquid blush, it just never fails. It just turns out to be an amazing, I'm gonna add a little bit more. It's just an amazing combination. It just makes a beautiful, creamy, glowy blush. I love it. Awesome beauty hack. That's more of what I'm going for. So it's just kind of a pinky peach right there. I probably have too much on my hand. I'm going to use this IT Cosmetics Dual End Face Brush for this. I found that oftentimes when I put it on, it'll kind of fade a little bit. So I'll probably add a little bit more, and it might seem a little heavy initially, but I'd rather, quite frankly, I don't want to waste it. It's quite a bit. But this is a very, I like it. It's a kind of a fresh, happy, springy color. I like it. I like to put foundation on my forehead. I'll probably put it from here, across my cheeks. I might have gotten a little bit too much there. That's okay though. Can fix it. But it looks very fresh. It looks fresh and colorful and alive. And especially when I'm not super happy with my foundation. The bronzer did help. Obviously, bronzer is going to help warm up any foundation. It just is. I just needed it to perk up a little bit. I'm gonna take this e.l.f. This is really a nice e.l.f. sponge. I like the shape. It's very bouncy and nice. But I'm gonna go in here and just share things out a little bit. Okay. I'm having to work a little bit too hard today. When your makeup takes this much effort, to me, it's not worth it. When you have to work your base to look nice, like really extra hard, it's not worth it to me. I am going to use just a little bit of powder. I haven't used this powder in a very long time. This is my Physicians Formula Butter Dream Team palette, and it has bronzer and blush, and it has a highlighter in here, and it also has some powder, which I have very rarely used because I have others that I prefer better. But today I'm going to use this because I'm completely out of my e.l.f. powder. So now I'm being forced to. So who knows? Maybe I'll just really like it. I got this at the Dollar Tree. It came in a package, a little container of 4, little finger sponge. And I'm just going to swipe it there. It's got kind of a multi, you could probably go in and just use the translucent and, grab what you want. But I'm just going to go ahead and just mix it up a little bit. I do not want anything settling though, I can tell you that. How is that gonna work? I'm gonna focus on the translucent area of this powder. I'm just trying to pick up enough product here from that little spot. It is not, it's kind of hard to grab with the sponge, and it's probably not releasing from the sponge very well either, which might be one of the problems I'm having. So let's see if we can brighten that up. Let's set that. Not great. It's really not. It's not great. I don't like to use a lot of powder. So if this one is not performing the way I want it to or need it to, I won't reach for it again. Maybe my face will decide it likes it a little bit better as I give it some time. I rarely use highlighters on my face. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take a highlighter, and like this one is just beautiful. It's beautiful. And I will use it for mostly eyeshadow. So while I'm sitting here, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just swipe it on my eye and just see for fun. Yeah, it makes for a very lovely eyeshadow. I probably wish I had just used that earlier. So I would keep this palette. I'm not gonna throw this palette out. I can use, even if I'm not using all of it, I'm not using the powder or even the blush. I'm not a super big fan of the blush either. It looks very shiny, so I don't really like it that much, but I do like this for an eyeshadow. It's very pretty. I don't know if you can tell the difference because I already had something else on, but it just makes a kind of a nice little, well, I got a little message that I ran out of memory, so I went off camera and I cleaned up, I added a little more mascara and made a little mess and cleaned it up. So what I'm going to do really quickly here, this is the Essence brand Soft and Precise Lip Pencil in the shade Legendary, and I'm going to add a little lift and a little color to my lips. I'm going to cap it off with this Ulta. This is the Ulta Beauty brand Plumped Lip Pout. This is the shade, it's number 386 is the number, but I got this, an Ulta Beauty 40% off in their Ulta Beauty section, and I really like it, so I'm going to use it. It's got kind of a nice prism effect there and a little bit of a plumping effect. It's comfortable and I like it. Okay, my final thoughts. So I used the Simply Ageless Skin Perfecting Essence as sort of a base, and then I applied some concealer, which I'm not super thrilled with, and then I did a little bit of contour. I don't think it has anything to do with the way that the makeup is sitting on my face right now, to be honest with you, but it actually has gotten a little better. It's not as textured, it's not as sallow looking. It feels like it's improving a little bit. Not awesome, but you know, I would go out in public if I had to. Oh, and then the bronzer over the top definitely warmed it up. I don't think you can go wrong with that IT Cosmetics bronzer. So overall, I'm gonna try this again on another day. I'm going to accompany it with a little heavier concealer base and better under eye corrector, and see how it looks as my skin continues to get in better shape with the nourishment that I've been giving it. So anyway, it's okay. I'm not gonna throw it out. My Revlon Superstay gets to stay. It won't get thrown into the fireplace today, so good news for you, Superstay. All right, you guys, as usual, I hope you enjoyed the video and I really appreciate you watching. See you next time. This is my makeup in natural light. It's not bad. I'm actually pretty excited about it. Maybe it was just the lighting that I was using, but it looks really good. Wow. And I was looking in the bathroom mirror and I thought, wow, this is outside, and thought I'll just get some outdoor light, and it actually looks pretty good. Okay. That's surprising. So anyway, turned out better than I thought in regular light. So anyways, there you go.